Hello, lovely life forms. I am doing this really quick before I go in for Shabbat services. Yesterday I was watching just a bunch of different things all collided, but I decided I wanted to make this vlog video type thing when it came to, I finally was watching a video that's been out for about a week by Tail Foundry about how Terry Pratchett uses voice. I was thinking, okay, this is good. This is good. I like this. It talks about style, all of that stuff. It's a great video. But the main thing for me was that I had just been thinking about how I personally use voice in the different ways that I write. Just like right before watching that video, because I had been editing a nonfiction travel piece of mine, and it very much sounds like if you were to transcribe my actual tone and my actual voice, because of the word choice and that kind of thing. And I was thinking about that and the differences in how I write for my middle grade stuff, because that's now in the multiples, and how I write for young adult up. And kind of also how the comic is gonna be, because that is kind of branching between middle grade and young adult for the most part. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm indulging my Pika. But so I was thinking about all of the different stylistic influences and how those relate to my writing. And I went, okay, so this is mainly, I read a lot of very specific manga, watched some of the anime to do with it. And I was just in Barnes & Noble earlier today, and I was reading the first volume of Bakano, which notably is not normal. I mean, it's not, I have only ever watched the anime and read the first volume because it's based off of not a manga, but a light novel series. So I was reading that, I was like, I did get a lot from Bakano, didn't I? So between Bakano and being on stage and drama and reading getting a lot more out of Charles Dickens than I wanted to. I really don't like Dickens, guys. But so I was thinking about all of that, I was like, oh. But yeah, so I have very specific thoughts and very specific actions, and they all come out. And it depends on what age range. I pretty much solidified around the time of the age that I write for YA and up. But middle grade, I had a completely different style. I was watching a lot of paranormal shows, which really shows, and reading a lot of fairy tales, and very into Russian. That doesn't show up as much. It shows up more in the YA onwards. But, so, I'm going to go in for services, but I wanted to just throw the question out. What are your stylistic influences, and how do they show up in all of your work? I don't really have anything published right now, so I can't point directly to things. But I want to later on do a wider topic, a wider discussion about how my voice works in all of my different pieces, and I've got to announce a couple other things before I actually talk more in depth about that. So there's that. But I also want to do, because theater is a pretty big tonal influence for my everyday speaking and how my voice comes out when I'm writing nonfiction, especially like weird comedy, weird old comedy. I want to talk about Il Rio, also known as Duke of Buckingham on Tumblr. Shout out to that awesome person. She's awesome. And how her influences have influenced her writing and her projects. But also I think Seanan McGuire I'm gonna bring in there. So, not directly into that video, but I want to make a few videos about like authors that we know we can find out their stylistic influences pretty easily and then see it reflected in their writing in different ways. So, I'm gonna leave y'all here. Let me know what y'all think.